You're tuned in to Good Vibes with Miss Eclectic right here on News and Talk 1380 WAOK, where everything's always okay, y'all. I'm excited. We have a hip hop legend in the building.
Yes,
how you like me now, Mr. Kool Moe Dee? How you doing this evening?
Cool.
Man, it is great to have you in the building. We were just talking offline about the BET Awards. How did you feel about the BET Awards?
It was kind of what it is. It is what it is. But the highlight for me was when Lauryn Hill came out, because Lauryn Hill, not only was it a clear indication of the separation lyrically, quite frankly, because I still listen to lyrics.
Come on.
And I think we're in a generation where we're not paying attention to the lyrics. And what she was saying lyrically was so over the top and so profound, because the whole rhyme or song about the same bullet that killed Malcolm and killed Fred Hampton, and killed Hugh P. Lewis and Hugh P. Newton. I said, "Oh my God, she's really, really taking it there." And the fact that people were dancing, I said, that's my problem. It's always my problem with the music, because it's like music gets in the way of those kind of lyrics, quite frankly.
It absolutely does, and the industry just hones on one particular rapper at this point, female or male, but especially with these females. And some people say, "Oh man, the females are running the industry. They were all over the BET Awards." But I was like, it was kind of a monolithic rap. It was like one part of rap that we saw, and I was like, "Where are the Moo Moo Freshes? Where are the Rhapsodies? Like, give me a little diversity when it comes to that." So I'm with you. Lauryn Hill gave me life. She started off with the Miseducation, which is one of my favorite songs. This is my favorite album. And she came off with the title track of the album, so it made my day. So I absolutely. Who's your favorite rapper right now?
J. Cole.
Okay. Yep.
By far, J. Cole.
Yes.
I don't say by far, because Kendrick Lamar is very good also. Drake is cool, but Kendrick Lamar is better than that, and J. Cole is the summit.
Yeah, J. Cole. To me, I love how they're able to transcend. Like, they still have the integral part of rap, but they still know how to bring this era along with them. That's my respect for J. Cole, Kendrick. You can go down the line. I absolutely love those guys. So you got to tell me, so what is new with Kool Moe Dee? Like, I used to tell you, I was telling you offline, like, I used to live downtown. Like, you had the 80s on lock, and I ain't going to tell my age, but I was rapping the song. But man, how have you seen, we just talked about, but how have you seen rap change? And what would you like to see now?
The unfortunate part is we have been, and I keep saying, we have not broken down slavery as it needs to be broken down, because we still function like freed slaves.
Yeah,
we don't function like freed black men, or kings. We literally function like freed slaves. And as a freed slave, you're going to focus on the monetary side of the equation, because the monetary side of the equation alleviates a layer of stress and pressure. But it's not the answer to your problem, so to speak, because the problem is more about the slave master. And I say the slave master is not the oppressor. It's a similar thing, because the colonizer is one thing and the oppressor is another thing. It's two dimensions of slavery, quite frankly. It's almost like the government and the police. It's an extension of the police, extension of the government, but they are still doing the enforcement. And that's why I say the problem is in hip-hop, like, we're only focused on a beat or the music or whatever. It's two parts of the equation. It's like, how does the MC flow over the beat? But he has to have a beat, and a lot of people say, we don't like your music, whatever, so they want to dance because they're more concerned with dancing. And you can't force a person to be conscious if they're not conscious. And the fact that, what I call, a friend of mine just told the other day, I said, the fact that we always go for style over substance, that's a real substance abuse. We always go for, in African, in our culture, we always go for the style over the substance. That's the real substance abuse.
That man, you got a true point there. We go with style. We spend too much. That could go down a whole, from mental to physical to our financial habits. That can go down a whole line.
Absolutely.
And it is First Friday. On First Fridays, we talk about, being financially fly and savvy. But how do you find that balance? Because you got to look a certain way sometimes, but you got to find that balance. You can't go spend it all, and that's why you see all these ball players who are broke, or you see Fantasia. She's like, man, I lost it all like 3 times. She's like, we look good on stage. But when the lights go off, I'm going home to nothing. So yeah, so that's integral part. And so we were talking also offline about, right now this month is National Minority Mental Health Month. And just keeping that mental health, we talked about financial health, but keeping that mental health, how do you do that? Because you've been in the industry for a long time, and it's hard.
Well, for me, and we start off today just talking. It's like, most artists don't know that you can say no. Yeah. And it's not like just saying no to drugs. Or like, money can be a drug, quite frankly. and learning how to prioritize it or put it in its right proper place. It's like you need money to survive, or beyond survival. Like being a billionaire is cool for me. I never had a drive to be a billionaire. Like I love to see Jay-Z making that kind of money.
Yeah.
But I'm not shooting for that kind of money. So that's, if you can stay focused on the spiritual aspect of the equation, you probably have a better chance to balance yourself.
I love that. You got to keep that spiritual aspect, because you're right. Sometimes we don't look at y'all as artists. We look at you as legends, like you're immortal, and you got to realize this is a mortal person. You have to have your rest time. You have to have that balance. You have to have that quote unquote work-life balance, which is very hard to achieve. But so we forget that. So we appreciate you, and we appreciate you for speaking on that, because a lot of artists don't speak about that.
Yes, I said in one of my last interviews, I'm probably the most frustrated artist in history, because I've never gotten to say what I want to say really on wax, because the company, and people don't put this part of the equation together. Before you get to the streets or your audience, once you got a record deal, you got to prove it to the company first. They have to believe it, because you have some kind of white guy or Jewish guy in your company saying that's not street enough. And he's never been in the street, but he's telling you it's street enough. And when you do something derogatory, they're always go ready to put a whole lot of money behind it. But you do something positive, then we don't think they're like that.
Because they're trying to keep us in the box.
Yes.
They know exactly what they're doing. These record execs know exactly.
Yes.
And it gets frustrating at times.
Absolutely.
And I do that. One thing I do like about the industry, I mean, like even with the rap we talk about, it's okay to have a balance, but we just, like you said, we hone in on that one. How do you feel about, because independent is the new major, so a lot of these artists now are independent, so they have that creative freedom.
I like the freedom aspect of it, but you got to balance again. Always, the key word is always balance. Because on one level, having gatekeepers out there for you to really streamline and funnel what you get access to is one thing. Because the thing that's wrong with social media for me is like 8 million people have an opinion. And you can't take in 8 million opinions. And if you get, and then like I said, the downside, if you want to break down democracy, it's really the most popular thing wins all the time in the democratic situation. The most popular thing wins, even to the presidency. Like if he gets more votes than him, that doesn't mean he's a better president. That's mean more people voted for him. But that's what you call a democracy, and I'm saying there's flaws in that equation.
That's true. What we call, like I said, what we call a democracy.
Yes.
Yeah, you definitely have a point there. So let's talk about it. This weekend coming up, it's an evening of hip hop, classic hip hop, I should say.
Yes.
You got Kool Moe Dee himself. You got Big Daddy Kane, KRS-One, Special Ed. Like this is going to be class. This is going to be history on a stage.
Absolutely.
How you feel about it? Like it's like a reunion.
The only thing I don't like in this time period, because everybody wants to take pictures because they have access to it now, because technology has gone over the top, because somebody's making money off it. That's how it became popular as it did. Because I still think we're not supposed to have cell phones, quite frankly. But because they can make $1 out of it, now everybody has a cell phone. And because everybody has a cell phone, everybody wants to take a picture now because they can do it because of technology. And I'm saying, when I'm at a show like that, if KRS is on, I'm not just jamming like you or having a good time. I'm in study mode because I'm paying attention, because that's a peer, a competitor, and I'm learning from him simultaneously. And I'm watching how he puts his show together and what he's doing or whatever. There's a whole nother level of study going on for me. So when sometimes I bait people's head off because I can't help it, because my Leo thing, whatever, sometimes. Can I get a picture? Like, no, I'm studying right now.
Yeah.
It's almost like you're bothering. It's like, imagine you eating, and I had this happen for real. I'm trying to eat. Said, I don't want to bother you, but you are bothering me. I'm trying to eat. I'm biting in something. I don't want to take a picture. I don't want to clear my mouth out to take a picture because you want a picture. It's like, I'm trying to live. So kind of what you said earlier.
You gotta give artists that space. Like it's just you have to. And I understand, like, you're in study mode, and I respect that. Like, you're a legend yourself, and you're still studying your peer. And then we gotta learn how to experience. I find myself doing that sometimes. Like, get a concert, let me put your phone down. I'm filming this for somebody else to watch, and I'm missing the entire experience for myself. Absolutely. And for a hip hop concert like this, like back in the day, that was an interactive concert where you throwing your hands in the air, like you're interacting with the audience. We could talk about artist development and just stand on stage and karaoke, because that's what it is now. But that's a whole nother story. But I agree with you. Put your phones down and actually experience this concert. I know. What can we expect in this concert? I know we're gonna have a good time.
Well, I'm still old school, bringing dance on stage, so I'm doing.
Come on now.
So I'm doing the old school sound. My third level of old school because I go further back than that before dances at all. But we were complaining before dances came, and I loved that Heavy D and the boys, and then Kane had two dances also. I had dances also. People didn't really know it. They weren't popular like that, but we were absolutely looking at the stage show as very, very important. And I do say, and a shout to Hammer because a lot of people don't give him credit. MC Hammer is part of the MC situation that we don't like because his style wasn't what we liked or what we didn't like or whatever. We didn't grab it. He wasn't street enough, whatever. It's like the industry takes its turn, and but Hammer was putting pressure on a lot of MCs, quite frankly, because he was performing at a level that people could not keep up with. Oh man, I have to get out there dancing. I'm like, no, he's not just dancing. He's performing differently, and he's bringing out people. And he has a bunch of dancers on stage doing the same thing he's doing. And it's a whole nother level, so you can't be mad at him, quite frankly. And nobody gives him any kind of shine, quite frankly.
And he should. That was my first concert. I was young. It was him and Vanilla Ice. So, but still, that was a good concert because we no cell phones then. So I mean, we jammed hard. I had on my Hammer pants. I mean, I still remember that concert to this day. But you said something. You said he performed.
Yes.
Now, performance is no longer an aspect of you going on tour, being on stage. And this is not a part. But how do you feel about artists rapping to the track, not performance tracks, but just straight up the whole track that they put in the studio, like no backings, just straight up, and they just come in when they feel like it.
It is what it is because I understand survival mode also. A lot of those guys, it's almost like, and myself, one of my partners, LA Sunshine, he's going to be on stage with me also this weekend.
Dope.
We have always looked at and analyzed artists. And when an artist comes out, and I said, I'm not going to say any names, but they come out, hey, motherfucker, he's cursing all the top. That's because he's nervous energy. He doesn't know how to take the crowd, so he's trying to let you know he's not scared. It's like him saying it out loud. I ain't scared. That's what yo, motherfucker. You're really saying I ain't scared because there's no reason for that much profanity at the, you haven't had this in a rhyme yet. Yo, motherfucker, yo, put your motherfucking hands. And you're cursing because you're trying to make people act like you, make them, psych them out and let them know that you're not scared. And I can see the fear in you. And that's the other thing I say back to studying. I'm looking at your energy. You're scared on stage.
That's good. I never thought about it that way. That's your survival technique to make it through that performance. Man, that's good. Before you leave Kool Moe Dee, tell everybody if they can still get tickets to the concert this weekend because it's 4th of July concert. You could say post Juneteenth concert, however you want to say it. But how do you create a good vibe before you get on stage?
For me, I truthfully meditate before I go on stage, quite frankly, because I need to get in a space, and which is another thing that drives me crazy, quite frankly, because a lot of people have no idea what it takes to get on stage or get into a mode. And I'm trying to get into a mode, and people want to take a picture or whatever. I'm not trying to be nasty, but I'm trying to get into a mode. So, and Dougie Fresh, he doesn't like to go out into the crowd because they'll bother him. So he stays away and he shows up right before he gets on stage. I can't do it like that. He's a different kind of entertainer because he loves it differently. So I can't do that. So he likes to stay away from the arena. I like to come in and see who gets on, see what they did. I like to see everything everybody did because by the time I get on, I don't want to keep doing the same thing you saw. Because the floor with this kind of show that we having on Saturday, too many people get on. Like, how many people can say ho 20 times in a row? Like, how many people? You're right. How many? Everybody else over 30. Like he said that already. I don't want to say the same thing.
Everybody here over 30. Right.
How many people over 25? Like it's like you're doing the same thing that the 3 people did right before you.
Right.
And I'm saying it becomes monotonous at a certain point. So that's what I don't like about the hip hop shows when they're packed like that because I know the promoters trying to make his money.
Yep.
But I'm like, you still got to think about it from the artist standpoint and from the audience standpoint. They can't look at the same thing over and over again and still be enthused. Which is why I declined headlining all the time, quite frankly. Because you got to get, after all that, here you come and you get. I always declined it. I'd rather steal a show than headline a show, quite frankly. Ooh, that's a quote right there. That's a quote. You up here quote. You teaching Kool Moe Dee. You teaching on this evening. We got the Kool Moe Dee Masterclass, the legendary hip hop himself. So, man, tell everybody, how do they get tickets? Does it go Mabel House? Yes, that's it.
Mabel House. And so we talked too offline real quick. I keep saying because you're just so good. This is a wealth of knowledge. So we talked about independence and not being able to say what you're able to say on your records, but you coming out with a new record.
Yes.
So on this new record, are we going to hear the authentic, the truth, the transparent Kool Moe Dee?
Absolutely. It's called The African King. The album's called African King. And one of the first singles is called Critical Thinking. because we don't do that critical thinking at all. We don't do enough of that, quite frankly. And just for starters, like the first line, I think I might make it on the first line on the whole album, was like, the middle passage is the fallacy. It's really, we were trafficked. We were kidnapped in reality. So I'm breaking it down that way. So I'm talking about the fact that we have to recontextualize our blackness in America, quite frankly.
Ooh, I like it, y'all. Kool Moe Dee. Tell everybody how to follow you or how to support you and how they can get this new album when it come out in 2025. We need it because, you know, we got Project Twins. We need some goodness in 2025.
Unfortunately, I have no Instagram.
Okay.
No social
I felt that in my spirit that you didn't. I knew it.
No kind of online presence whatsoever.
Okay. So we just got to wait for it. So you just going to pop out with an album.
We'll see what the promoters want to do.
Okay. He gonna pop out with an album, y'all. Make sure y'all go this weekend. Kool Moe Dee, KRS-One, Big Daddy Kane special. And it's going to be a dope concert. It's gonna be energized. I can already tell. As you already know, he gonna study the crowd. He gonna study the artists, and he gonna make sure that you have a good time. I used to live downtown. Man, that was my jam. That was still my jam. Yo, we got Kool Moe Dee on Good Vibes. Y'all keep it locked right here. It's Good Vibes. It's News and Talk 1380 WAOK.